Hi, I'm Dennis Weese for Eagle Communications. Welcome to our town. We have Lisa Tokach with us today, and we're talking about Band-Aids. Okay, Lisa, you're a vet, right?
Yes.
So are we talking about big Band-Aids or little Band-Aids or what kind of Band-Aids?
Well, actually, Band-Aids is just the humorous name that we have for our parent support group for our local middle school and high school bands.
The first time I got that email, I laughed out loud at home. I said, now that is a cool brand. We're the Band-Aids.
Yes, I know. We inherited that. I don't even know who came up with it, but we have a group of parents who work really hard to help support the band.
Now, your daughter sat in that chair and this chair for us, Sage, and did a great job in our community, both at Great Plains Theater and here, helping me out with this show. And one of the things how I came to know Sage, she used to send me a fundraising letter for the Playing Great Players in the film festival, and Eagle Communications became a sponsor of that. And she always did it via email. And I emailed her back, I think maybe the second time she did that, and I said, you know, you do the best job of asking for money of anybody that does it, because you tell me everything I need to know how to help you. And you make it very easy. Well, we get to do that today for what is probably one of the most vibrant programs in our school. The band or the music programs in both the middle school and the high school are explosively good.
Yes, yeah. And I guess, you know, Sage is off to college now, but she's staying partially in the music field, music and theater, so it's obviously influenced her life. But I would say that one of the greatest things that we have in the Abilene school system, starting in the middle school with Mr. Toby Weishauer, right. He gets them started, and I have told him many times that he should be nominated for sainthood, because I think anybody who takes, you know, like 120 kids that 6th, 7th, and 8th graders. Yeah, but 120 per class. Yes. That know nothing about playing a musical instrument, and in August they all get their instruments and they're all excited. And if you go into the middle school in August when they're playing, bring your earplugs, because yes. It's terrible. I know this. He encourages them to play loud first, yeah. And then we refine what it sounds like. Yeah, I mean I've been in there. It's a terrible sound. Yeah. It's terrible. And then it's just like this miraculous transformation when you go to the middle school Christmas concert, and you know, they can actually play songs that you can recognize. Standing room only, always. Standing room only. That's going to be one of the great things about the school bond issue and getting a new auditorium, because these programs have been so successful that they've just outgrown their facilities. Yeah. But so, you know, Toby gets them started, and they just do such a great job, and he gets the kids really enthusiastic about it. And they have a jazz band also, and their jazz band will be playing a set at the dinner dance that we're going to be talking about. But then they move on to high school, and then they move on to Mr. Aaron Tompkins, and he takes them over. And if you've been to a sporting event, football game maybe, you saw the marching band, or basketball game and you see the pep band. They have a jazz band, they have a concert band. These kids are involved in all kinds of activities with the band, and it's great, and the program is exploding. There's so many kids that are involved in it. Now we even have 2 pep bands. We have an orange band and a brown band, right. Because we can't fit them all up in the band loft. What an amazing problem to have. Yeah. What an amazing problem to have. You know, I had Toby and Katie on when she was vocal at the middle school, and we had a nice program. And I love middle schoolers. The chaos means there's energy there. Yes. And where there's energy means you can do something. And I love energy. So I always say anybody that can't get middle schoolers excited about a topic, they don't care much about their topic, evidently, because middle schoolers, they walk in excited. They may walk in excited about something else, but at least they're excited.
But what a great thing to watch that band program turn people who've never blown a trumpet or a saxophone, or in your case, a great big
tuba.
Yeah. So turn them into what their performance is at the end of the year. You know, the world is all about success. You know, your business is, did you save the horse? You saved mine. So I remember you stitching her lip up out there in the freezing cold. So that's, the world measures success, not effort. You measure success. And the music programs at the middle school and the high school turn out success over and over and over. They win lots of awards. They go to national competitions, state competitions, district bands, all that stuff. So, but we're here to talk about Band-Aids. Band-Aids, a group of people who help the band, and you help them by sending out notes saying, we need 5 dozen cookies tonight at the football game or the basketball game. I need 3 volunteers to do this. And so that's a long segue to say, I think I figured out where Sage got her organizational ability.
Yeah, well, Band-Aids, you know, it's not glamorous. Band-Aids is exactly that. It's all about working concession stands and, you know, bringing crock pots of chili and making sure we have enough plates and napkins and all kinds of things. And so sometimes we're doing fundraisers to try to raise money to help support the events that the band wants to go to that maybe isn't, you know, isn't covered under our budget. And as we all know, that's getting tighter and tighter.
That's right.
So we're trying to supplement so that they can still, you know, have all of the things that they need. And you know, sometimes we're just supporting the kids. We have an event in the fall where the Chapman Band goes over and plays with the Abilene Band, or when the Chapman game is in Chapman, then the Abilene kids go over to Chapman, and we always try to have a little hot dog feed so that all the kids, you know, that it's a good mixer for them. And so just different things like that. You know, the community's been very supportive about, you know, donating things to just help with those causes. And, you know, if you've been to any of the games, you know, you feel the enthusiasm. I mean, those kids are excited. I mean, they are really, you know, they put on a performance.
Yeah, I wish my son came home and said, Dad, man, I just can't wait to tell you about algebra. But what he does, he says, Dad, boy, we're getting to go to Topeka and with a pep band, and of course the basketball team's traveling to the state, pre-state, and they're getting to go. But what a joy it is to have a kid come home excited about school. And if it's music that turns that kid, then that's great. All right, your event. You have a jazz dinner, which is a fundraising event, March the 27th. Where are you going to hold it this year?
It's in the auditorium at the high school.
Okay, and it's about 6:30 in the evening. Then we've kind of narrowed in. We think it's about 6:30 in the evening, but we can provide them a link to the website here, and we'll figure that out. But what do you need? Do you need people to come?
Yes, you know, the biggest thing, the kids work really hard. This is a combination of the Abilene Middle School Jazz Band, which is a 17-piece ensemble that is auditioned, so they audition to get into it. And then they have the same at the high school level. It's also audition jazz band, and the middle school will start out the evening and they're gonna play a set. And then the high school jazz band will take over, and they're actually going to play 2 sets. There'll be a little break in between where we're going to do some drawings for some prizes. So the biggest thing, first thing that we need is people to attend. So it's Friday, March 27th, and tickets will be $15. And you can buy them from the high school office. You can also get them from Ludi Eye Care. And or you can get them from a high school jazz band member if you happen to know one.
All right.
So that'll be the biggest thing is just to come out and support the kids. We have some local businesses that have already donated to the cause, and so if you have a business that would be interested in donating to our band fund, that would be great, because like I mentioned earlier, you know, with some budget cuts, it's getting tight, and sometimes the arts is the first thing that feels the squeeze.
Right.
And so, you know, we do have some instruments as the band grows, which is a great problem to have, like you said. we are concerned because we don't always have enough instruments. Now, most of the basic instruments the kids own themselves. Like if you're a trumpet player, you own a trumpet. My youngest daughter is a saxophone player. She owns a saxophone. But some of the instruments, like for example, my daughter owns an alto saxophone, but she also plays the tenor saxophone in the jazz band.
Right.
So rather than having her have to own two, the school owns a tenor saxophone that she rents. And so it's like money for those kinds of instruments. As you mentioned, my older daughter played the tuba, and a tuba is a very expensive instrument, so I was very thankful that we could rent one from the school. And it also takes up a lot of space.
Yes, it takes up a lot of space.
So, you know, it's those kinds of things that, you know, we try to secure funding to make sure that, you know, I mean, we already have, I think, the best teachers for the job, but we want to make sure that they have all the right equipment and instruments and things that they need so that they can do what they do.
We appreciate when you said you'd be willing to do this, because it's probably one of the missing pieces. It's just information to the public. It's awfully easy to assume, well, it's school, they have a band, they take care of that. There's many of those things that just aren't taken care of in the budget, and we couldn't produce, those kids couldn't produce the success they produce without contributions from outside the school system. And in the case of the band, it's fairly significant contributions that are needed. We're willing to help, by the way. I got your email, obviously we set this up, but I'm willing to contribute from Eagle, so when we get done here, we'll make that happen for you.
Fantastic.
I think that's a fantastic opportunity for us, as it always is. If we grow our community has more ability to do business with us. And there's not a better investment than young people. I think of Sage oftentimes when I think of this. The quality of life that Sage had when she was here will make her more likely to give back to her community in some way in the future, whether it's to choose to live here, which I'm sure would be your happy quotient, and how could you, as a community member, we want people like that. We need people like that. But even if it's some other place, some other community, as people grow up, they tend to look towards home, and their contributions in talent or time or treasure generally start to weave their way back home, and how important it is to provide that quality of life while they're here, while we have them.
Certainly.
So, and the Band-Aid group does a very cool job of letting that happen with the band kids, and Mr. Tompkins, Mr. Weiser, I'm sure they're eternally grateful.
Well, we're grateful to have them.
Yep. Okay, so fun facts. There has to be, when you have a veterinarian on TV and you have a name like Band-Aids, there has to be some story, some segue that goes, okay, so here's what I'm doing at work while I'm thinking about jazz bands. You know, it's Band-Aids to me. When I saw your name on the email and thought Band-Aid, there's got to be 1,000 jokes there. So what does Mike Whitehair think about the Band-Aids?
Well, I guess, you know, he's a good community guy, so he's certainly going to be supportive of what we do, but, you know, we kind of keep that separate.
I was always going to make this joke, and I remember the Abilene paper one week had a picture of Dr. Mike on the cover, and he was out at the alpaca farm. And I don't remember what he was doing, but I remember he was working on the south end of a northbound alpaca. And then about 2 weeks later, they had Steve Henry with the Salina Symphony.
Yes.
And I thought, gosh, I got to get up in front somewhere and take those two pictures and do something with it. I've never had the chance, so I guess we're doing it here live on television. But what a wonderful picture of small town America, and quite, as I always tease Dr. Mike, I mean, I said both men found their true calling.
There you go. There you go.
Yeah, but it's funny, and here's why to me. You're working today.
Yes.
You work at Abilene Animal Hospital right down the street from my office. I'm working today, yet we're both sitting here talking about Band-Aids and kids.
Yeah.
It's because it's a vital piece of what makes small town business and small town America work. You can't separate these things and make it work very well.
Right.
Yeah.
And Steve Henry that you mentioned, that's a really good example of a guy. Here's a guy that's a veterinarian working on pigs by day, and he's a cello player in the Salina Symphony, big supporter of the arts. So he's a good example of how nice things in a small town is you can get involved in a lot of different things. I mean, I would have not thought that I would be serving the Band-Aids when I moved here to Abilene, but
wasn't your primary goal?
No, it wasn't. But you know, as anybody whose parents knows, your kids drag you into things that you wouldn't otherwise get involved in. So it's a good thing.
You know, every program that I think Brian and I have shot in the years we've been doing this, I managed somewhere to say the words economic revitalization in it or economic development, and because I never separate it from any conversation. It's small towns. You can't.
Yeah.
So, but if you face that head on, you can think about, so somebody out there thinking about, I like jazz music, yeah, but do I want to go watch a bunch of kids play jazz? Well, there's two reasons you should. Because wow, are they good? You can take our word for that. Wow, are they good?
Yeah.
But number two is that $15 is an investment in Abilene that will turn over many times, and turning it over in the lives of a young person far exceeds spending it at the grocery store or spending it at the gas station or any other local business, including Eagle Communications or Abilene Animal Hospital. Spending it in the lives of a young person allows them to do great things that are exponentially pay off. I think it's very cool.
And if you need one more good reason to attend the Jazz Band Dinner Dance, it's going to be catered by Apple Mint Catering, so the food will be fantastic.
How many tables do you set up?
We usually set up for about 125 people.
Okay.
So, but we can get more chairs if we get more people. So,
okay.
But you need to get your ticket by Thursday the 26th. So we have a head count for the meal.
Okay. And again, tell them where they can find those tickets.
The tickets are available from any jazz band student, or you can get them from Abilene High School at their office, or you can get them at Ludi Eye Care.
Okay. The easiest way for people at home is that, the high school's in the phone book, the high school's on Google.
Yep.
They answer their phone every day, Monday to Friday. So if you don't know a kid in the jazz band, you really should, and the best place to get to know them is at the Jazz Dinner Dance on the 27th.
Yes, and you can sure dance if you like, but it's not mandatory.
What's the dress code?
It's maybe like business casual.
Okay.
So, some people dress up a little bit more, but if you wear jeans, you'll be welcome to.
There you go. That's good. We'll take anybody that wants to listen and
That's right. Great music, great food.
Yeah, okay. Lisa, thanks for coming in, for sharing with us the vision of the Band-Aids and the jazz band in particular you're attempting to raise a little money for. Let's put your face behind this thought as we get ready to sign off. Is when you run into Lisa, wherever you may see her, if you're interested at all in music and kids, then walk up to her and say, I saw the thing on the jazz dinner, couldn't make it that night, but I really want to help the band. Lisa will hook you up to a way you can help kids who enjoy music, because that's what the Band-Aids do.
Sure.
All right? Thanks for coming in.
All right.
Always good to see you. Say hello to Sage.
I will do.
Tell her to come back and host a couple programs over the holidays for us.
All right.
All right. Folks, we appreciate your watching today. If you can help the Band-Aids out, raise some money for the jazz bands here in Abilene, we would love to have you do that. For Eagle Communications, I'm Dennis Weese. Have a great day.